Action plans are simply a project management tool. The feedback loop consists of 5 parts. We want to ask, collect, analyze, implement, and notify. What often we fail to do is notify. AI interviews are meant to supplement surveys. Surveys are very structured. You're going to ask the same question every time. However, sometimes the best way to get feedback is asking unstructured questions. Listening sessions are meant to be things like lived experience boards or focus groups, anywhere where we're conducting a listening session outside of the Pulse system but want to store that information inside of it. Our grievance platform actually lives outside of Pulse for Good. It's a system called concerns. We have alerts. Alerts are when I want to be able to be notified immediately if there's a problem inside of my system. As a user or administrator in the Pulse for Good system, you're going to have an organization that you're assigned to, or perhaps multiple organizations. In order to view those, you're going to come up to this My Orgs section of your toolbar. When I select My Orgs, I'm going to get a list of all the organizations that you're currently associated with. If you're not associated with more than one, it's going to take you just into the one organization you're associated with. I'm going to come in and select the Acme organization. If I was only associated with this Acme organization, it would just take me right here when I select My Orgs. From here, you're going to be able to see information about your organization. You're going to be able to see your surveys, your kiosks, reports, have conversations as a team, and see a bunch of the other tools that you're able to use. Right. Now, from here, you're going to see a few things. First, the name of the organization. You're going to see your role inside of this organization and if your organization is active or not. You'll see how many total responses this organization has, how many team members it has, and how many surveys it has, just at a very quick glance here. I also can come down and see this overview, right, where I see the details of my organization. I can see the address that the system has as the headquarters, the service type that you offer, your role, the status, those same quick stats, your kiosks that are online, and any recent activity. It's a lot of nice survey responses coming in. It's great. On this side tab here, this little list or menu, I can see the various things I'm able to do at the organization level. First, I'm able to edit my team. I can come in and I can invite new people. I put multiple emails in here. I give them an organization role. I can select what surveys I want them associated with. And I pick the role for them in that survey. And I hit add. Bob@bob.com would then get an email saying, hey, you've been added to all of these surveys and to this organization. Congratulations, here's access. Please set up your account. From there, they then have access to view this organization page and the surveys that they've been added to. You can add someone just to the organization if you don't want to have them have access to the dashboard. They'd be able to see the surveys, see the names of them and that they're running, but not the data that's coming in. Conversely, you can add someone to a survey, but not your organization. So if you don't want to give them access to all the organization tools, they could just have access to that dashboard if you want as well. You can, on here, come in and edit somebody. So I have Elisa here. I may come in and say, hey, I want to edit their role. And instead of having them be the owner, I may want them to be the admin or support. I can also manage their survey access and say, hey, I want to give them access to this survey in this role. Or maybe I want to assign them to all surveys in a specific role. Once I do so, they'll get an email inviting them to the surveys that you've added them to. Or I can come in and say, I think we should just remove this person. This person will be removed from our organization, no longer have access to their organization or the surveys. It revokes all permissions that they may have on any of those. And we'll be removing her. And there goes Addie, no longer part of the organization. From here, I can also view other things. Now, we break this out into a few different sections. There's feedback, there's tools, and there's admin. I'm going to jump first to admin. If I come to settings, it's going to give me basic informational settings about my organization. I can change the organization name, give it a nickname, pick the services that it offers, change the address, change the email preferences, give a theme or branding. If I want every survey to have the same theme or branding, I can update that here. And then when I add new surveys, it'll use that theme every time I add new surveys. Now, jumping back to the feedback section. This is where I can see all of my surveys and kiosks. Currently, I have 38 surveys. I can see the vast majority of them are published. Oh, actually, as I scroll down, I see a lot that are now deleted or in draft. I can click on them and open them up if I want. Or I can come in and look at my kiosk. My kiosk I can see, or kiosks hopefully, I can see the name of the survey that's running on it, if it's online, when it was last seen, and its current battery status. I can also click these three dots, refresh it, which will help it get new information if I've changed the survey. I can cause it to refresh at midnight, or I can change what survey is running on it. I can also come in and run reports. Much like reports you may have looked at already on the survey dashboard or the group dashboard, I can generate reports for my entire organization here. So if I come in and hit generate report, I can download the raw data for all of my organization. I can run previously ran reports. These are reports that I've ran in the past. I can just download them again, or I can run new ones. For instance, I could run a peer benchmarking report to show me how I compare to organizations like mine anonymously in the system. I can do an executive summary, an organization response trends, topics and themes, a DEI or demographic insight report to see if there's various groups that may be being underserved, a qualitative insight report that reads all of the free text comments that your organization's received and gives you a report on it. Our legacy demographics report, if you were using that in the past and want to continue to still use it, it's there for you. I can get staff performance, plan effectiveness, kiosk network health if I want to see how my kiosks have been up online or offline over time, or alert and escalations. To run a report, I just select it. It will then generate it and tell me when it's ready, and I can come back in and download it. I also have a list of all the reports that have been ran recently, and I can come in and just download those and look at them at any point that I want. Next on the list is conversations. These are conversations that our organization may be having. It's really just an ongoing chat about the feedback they're receiving. It can be tied to a piece of feedback, or it could just be a conversation that I start that's not tied to a survey or a piece of feedback we received. I just want to talk about maybe our product, or about the services we're offering, or maybe about the feedback that we're getting in general. I can also come in here and go to interviews. Listening sessions, also feedback boards. Below are the tools. We talked about QR codes on the survey dashboard, but each survey has a QR code that it can reference, that reference that survey. When someone scans it, it takes them to the survey. Now, we've discovered over time that people want to change what survey they're running, and they often have printed out a whole bunch of QR codes. And so they have to go reprint out QR codes to be able to place in different places to run the new survey. We've adjusted this paradigm a little bit, where you can now reassign a QR code to a different survey. For instance, we're running this QR code for this food survey template. I may come in and say, that's great that we were running it for that, but I now want to run that QR code for a completely different survey. And I can change it to the Make Pulse Better survey. And now if you scan that QR code, it'll take you to the Make Pulse Better survey instead of our food template survey. Or I can come in and just deactivate it. And so when people scan it, it no longer goes anywhere. It takes them to a page saying that the survey's been deactivated. Below that is the ability for you to generate a poster from any one of these QR codes. If I come into, for instance, this food survey template, I can hit the Generate Poster button, pick how I want this poster to look, what language I want it in, what text should be there, whether or not I want to show the phone number, and a few more options. Do I want to include our logos or a secondary logo? And from here I can hit generate. It's then going to produce a PDF of a poster I can download and put up around my organization. It's a good way to be able to use these QR codes and get even more feedback inside of your organization. Below this are action plans and your public feedback badge. What a public feedback badge is, it's an ability for you to be able to put something on your website or somewhere else where you want to show people how you're doing in gathering feedback and the scores that you're getting. How this works is I come in and I get to select what surveys should influence the badge. And so, for instance, for our current badge, it's our mental health, our unhoused, and our volunteer surveys. And I show what is the minimum amount of responses that are required to be able to show that badge. And I can pick the style. Do I want it to be compact? Do I want it to be transparent? And it will show me what it looks like. So I don't want it transparent for this, and it shows me, all right, I have a 4.5 out of 5 with 625 reviews. I can put that on my website. And as soon as someone takes another survey, I will then show 626 reviews, and my score will fluctuate depending on there. It allows you to show a live look at how you're doing with your clients on your website in a way that allows you to show off when you're doing well, or at a level of accountability when you're not. In order to add this website, you just come down to this embed code, copy this code, and include it anywhere on your website that you'd like to display it. If you have any questions about these, please feel free to come use this product tour down in the corner and be able to get a full organization walkthrough. Or if you're curious of how to do individual things like generate a report or add a team member, click on that and it will give you a walkthrough of how to do each one of those.